After the credits rolled for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, I came to a final conclusion playing this game. This is literally the best superhero game you're gonna play, or if you want to categorize it as a group superhero game, because you have a cast of characters with you throughout the whole game. I love Marvel's Spider-Man on the, back in 2018. I love Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. I mean, those two games right there were phenomenal. Batman Arkham series, it's still the high standard for a lot of people. But this game, the Guardians of the Galaxies, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, this game is special, man. It literally is part 3 of the movies, but better in every single aspect. And I'm going to show you why this is the best superhero game that you're going to play. That it's the most underrated superhero game you're going to play. So please watch the entire video, and I'm going to break it down and show you why Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy may be the best superhero game you're going to play. What makes the Guardians of the Galaxy such a great game, so phenomenal? It executes it to perfection. The Last of Us Part 2 did it, and Part 1. Uncharted does it flawlessly. The characters in these games are phenomenal. That's where it just knocks it out the ballpark. Story has to be compelling, but the characters have to make you fall in love with the story. They have to make you want to invest your time into believing what they're selling you in their world. And I want you to listen to this dialogue to show you how great these characters are.
Yeah, like I'm turning the Milano into a dance club or something.
Please refrain from creating this club of dance.
Yeah, we all know how you feel about dancing. Oh, why's the Novanet still up? Thought we were going in.
Well, it appears the assassin's contacts are as untrustworthy as the betrayer herself.
Here's the significance of why I say the characters are so great in this game. Because they have animosity between each other, or Drax, as to say, has more animosity towards Gamora. But as you play later into this game, they develop a bond, a tight friendship. And there's a specific scene I want to show you right here that just made me say something before I even finished the game. That's how enthralled I was in the story. And these characters had me so captivated with what they were, just the story was telling, what these characters were portraying, the emotions. Just watch this whole sequence and tell me if this is not reminds you of the movies. So just listen to this whole sequence.
It's about Nikki and what men like Raker and Thanos do to girls like her. Like me. My sister. If I had just been better at protecting Nebula, maybe she wouldn't be dead.
Whoa. What? Nebula's dead? How? By who? Tell me, so I can find him and shake his Kratak hand.
What the fuck is wrong with Rocket?
You killed your sister?
She is the one you saw in the Matriarch's promise.
That's how I knew it was a lie. The Nebula I knew had been twisted into a hateful, vengeful monster thing. One who would never stop unless I stopped her. So I did. I just never
She's
expected
crying.
to survive.
Why didn't you say something?
It's not exactly a conversation starter. Hi, I'm Gamora. I murdered my sister. Can we be friends? Of course we can't. How can you be friends with a monster? Why would you want that on your team? A team I actually kind of enjoyed being on, all things considered.
Well, I hate Nebula, so I actually would have... What? I'm just saying it don't change nothing.
Actually, it changes everything. The galaxy just admitted she loves us.
This game is great. Got to.
I did not.
You did. You said you were in love with us right after the part about killing your sister.
I said I enjoyed your company.
That is the Catathian definition of love.
I'll give you like... Can we just move on?
One of my favorite scene sequences, or probably my favorite scene in the whole game, is that Gamora's emotion just bursting out like that in a moment of a critical point in the battle of them trying to get something done, and she just let it all loose. And it was just beautiful. It was something that really made me enjoy this game even more. Like, the characters in this game are phenomenal. And one of my favorite ones is Mantis. She's one of the best characters in this game. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has more character development than Marvel's Avengers whole game and their whole cast of characters. It's not even close. Uncharted does it great. The Last of Us Part 2 does it great. And now you have another game that does it great. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Now it's time to see why the gameplay is so great. If you really want to truly see an opposite side of a coin in this theory, or how I'm trying to get it across to you in this analogy, look at Marvel's Avengers. Completely the opposite of what Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is. This game has nothing worth caring about. There is no sense of where's the story gonna go, what's motivating these characters to do what they want, do they have their own ulterior motive. This game is just laziness. This area, I must have went here thousands of times. The environments look the same. Even the city just looks like this. They just look like they just in a studio and said, okay, let's make it look like we're in a desert or some arbitrary place. So just put a bunch of sophisticated scientific looking buildings or insignificant nonsense to make it look different. This game is the epitome of when you try to fool the gamers, and they did get me. And then when the gamers realize how much this game has nothing to offer, Guardians of the Galaxy suffers because it leaves a horrendous stigma because it's published by the same studio, Square Enix. And that's not fair to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, because that game, like I said, it might well be the best superhero game you're going to play, but because of this trash, this insignificant piece of garbage, this game had to suffer. The characters do idiotic things. This was idiotic for her to go try to save the rest of the enhance or whatever they call them in this game, because everything is so forgettable. She decides to take on these idiots by herself, fighting all the robots. And so when you beat the robots, the people that made this game said, let's just make her faint in plot convenience. Black Widow needs to insert herself again. And this literally reminds me, this fight right here, this is one of the most irritating parts of the game. It reminds me of Batman fighting the Riddler after you get all 243 Riddler little trophies that surround Gotham for a guy who has no skill in hand-to-hand combat. So this is literally the same thing. All they're doing is just switching it with two female characters. And you had Catwoman help you in that situation. This is just garbage. This game doesn't do anything with its enemy. Like, it's It's your typical let's just do things because you need to do things that gives you an objective that literally makes no sense. It's always get this things from AIM. AIM has everything you need. So what's the point of traveling back to the Chimera? You just plant yourself there and get everything you need all at once. Instead of going back and forth like idiots. These characters are useless. They don't have anything. You can't even believe them when they get angry because it's just so forced. There is none of that in Guardians of the Galaxy. This game has depth, it has emotion, it has substance. It makes you want to care. It makes you be like, damn, what's going to happen next? Like,
By destroying my home.
this whole situation we had to save Drax was just thorough. This game made me laugh. It literally reminds me of the movie. It's quintessential to the movie. I would even go out to say these characters are just as good or even not better than the movie characters. That's how good these characters are portrayed in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Now we can take a look at gameplay. For any game to have success and be a good game, the gameplay must come first. It must be fun, it must be enjoyable. Now, every game is going to have its repetitive things, but to me, it's how it's done in the way it's attempt to make it look new in the way it goes about it. Like I said, Marvel's Avengers didn't even try to do anything different or make the gameplay fun. Now, let me not say fun. The combat was decent enough. I'm going to give them that. It wasn't like horrendously bad where the mechanics were just utterly unusable. They were just basic at best. But this just has a sense of pizzazz, or I don't know exactly how to explain it, or the word to explain it, or maybe I should just use it's just fun as hell to get into these situations playing in these combat situations, I should say. I mean, this part is just this game gets an A+ with this one. And as you level up with these characters, they really become overpowered. In the beginning, you're gonna feel somewhat underpowered because they're not gonna seem that strong. But as you get later into the story and the choices you make can unlock some abilities for these characters, and you're just gonna wreck a whole bunch of shit in this game. Like, you're gonna wreck the enemies, man. You're not gonna give them a chance. You're just gonna be overpowered. Some of the gadgets that Star-Lord had, Peter Quill, I forgot to start using them towards the end of the game. Like that gravitational pull thing that he has. That's I should have been using that earlier against the snipers instead of trying to shoot them down. Like I forgot I had amazing weapons and stuff like that in the game. So I definitely can't wait to replay it and use these weapons more so and see how effective they can be. Like, I should have used this to free electrocute and keep multiple enemies stagnant, so I can take them out more. So like, the gameplay has a lot of variety. The way you want to fight, the way you want to approach a situation. So I'm very strategic in the way I like to, go into my combat situation. I'm always going to look for an advantage that's going to give me an advantage, obviously. But yeah, the gameplay is superb. And one of the things that make this game work, and I said this in the beginning of the video, the characters and the story, how they just beautifully just mesh with each other. Lady Hellbender is an awesome character, and the way she's introduced back to us in this game is pretty dope. You took out Fang Foom, and spoiler alert, Groot has to revive her. Revive Fang Foom, and Lady Hellbender sees that, these Guardians of the Galaxy may not just be what she thought. They can have some different things to them, and that's part of the character development of each of these characters in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. The Avengers made no attempt to have any character development. Listen to this dialogue because it cracks me the hell up.
Makes you do face crunches.
Wait, Raker's gonna do what?
It depends. But at some point, someone says my name, and then there's a little bit of pee.
Great. I did not want to know that.
Oh yeah, little fuzzy. Maybe the little bit of pee is you.
Nope.
This game is just too funny. I just love moments like that. That's what makes this game so funny and unique in its own way. The thing I'll say, I really want you guys to purchase this game if you haven't played it. Show support, because this game has everything that Marvel's Avengers didn't even think about putting in the game. Like this great story, great characters, great gameplay. That's a recipe for success. Now, when I put that sequence when I was talking about epic success and epic failure, I'm talking solely on the basis of how good the game are individually, not cells or anything like that.
Sure.
I really hope this gets a sequel, because this game
Awesome, all types of trash.
is really that goddamn good.
For anyone.
The story, like I said, the characters, the gameplay, it's all there. It hits everything on the beat. Now, does it have some annoying parts? Maybe Peter Quill's like little flying mechanic. Sometimes I get stuck trying to get over on certain parts, but those are like nitpicks. You really got to nitpick to really find a problem with this game. This game is enjoyable throughout the playthrough, man. It's going to start off,
Sacrosanct. We're on a planet.
I don't want to say slow, but it's going to give you a, what's I'm looking for? I guess a slow beginning, but that doesn't mean it's going to be boring. It's just going to give you a chance to get to know these characters, I should say, before you delve into the big seriousness of what the story is trying to portray.
You're talking about kidnapping.
It's just a fun game, man.
Emphasis on destroyer.
This game just does what it's supposed to do. It's fun to play. I cannot wait to play it again.
That ain't our
You guys should go play this game if you haven't. I really want to know what you thought of this game, because I think super highly of it, man. Like I said, when the credits had rolled, I had such a big smile on my face. I was just like amazed at what I just played. It made me want to pop the movies in just to see the correlation between the two, because I really think these characters are just as good as the movie characters. This is a underrated superhero game, the most underrated, because I don't think a lot of people know how good this Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is. Again, this game deserves a ton of credit for being fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I wanted to make this video so you guys can understand why I think this game is so good, and show off why this game might be the best superhero game you're going to play. If you want to disagree, I'm completely fine with that, but just let me know what you guys think in the comment section.
Fine.